Hey guys, it's Brittany. Welcome back to Until Then. So I've been out of the habit of doing my Wisdom Wednesday videos, and so that is what we're going to get back into today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so what we're going to be tackling is really seeing what we can be doing when we're feeling very overwhelmed and stressed out. We're basically a quarter into the new year, and so hopefully by now we have finalized what our routines are like or getting a good handle on them. So you know what your morning routine might look like or your nighttime routine. Getting used to getting back into school if that's what we're doing, back into work, getting the kids to and from school, finalizing your routines with taking care of family, whatever that may look like to you. Hopefully by now we've got that going on, but usually, not even by now, sometimes even way later on into the year, if it's not happened already, we have those moments where we are so caught up into the habits of what we're doing that we get burnt out, that we get stressed out, that we get overwhelmed, that there's just one too many things going on, way too many tasks that we have taken on that really kind of stresses us out. And so sometimes we have that feeling of overwhelm. And so what I want you guys to remember at this point is that when you start to feel that way, to halt. HALT. And this is something I actually just recently learned. So basically, this is an acronym for when you're hungry, when you're angry or anxious, when you're lonely, or when you're tired. So basically, when you have that moment where your nerves are shot, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed out, you're just completely tired, you need to stop, at least halt or stop yourself. And then I want you guys to assess, like, am I feeling hungry? Am I feeling angry or anxious? Am I feeling lonely? Am I feeling tired? And if you're feeling two or more of those things, then you need to address that situation. And specifically, like if you're hungry, you need to eat. If you're tired, you need to either sit down and just kick your feet a little bit or just take the time to take a nap or sleep. So that's essentially what that is. Once I learned about this acronym, I looked back into just my time in my Bible study. So in my previous Wisdom Wednesday videos, I shared about a Bible study I was a part of. And I had like 3 out of the 4 different things wrong with me that I had thought about. And at this point, I'm a lot better for it because I've assessed those things, but I didn't realize I had until I saw this acronym. So one of the things I had shared before is that I for sure was tired because I was commuting twice a week from Phoenix to Tucson. And that was like a 4-hour trip altogether, 2 times a week. Taking the time to lesson plan, get ready for my kids, and being able to teach their lessons, to do their activities. I was most definitely angry because we had one too many changes going on, and no matter how many times I would shift and adjust to those changes, there would be another one coming in, and no matter how many times I would voice and say, can we slow things down, or is there a way that we can gradually, adjust to this change? No one was listening. And I was for sure lonely. Even though I was doing this particular study with my mom and some other ladies that were feeling the same way, that were leaders as well, I was in a separate department than them. I was in the children's ministry by myself, and I felt like I was the only person that felt that way. And so for me, even though everyone was kind of collectively dealing with the same things, I felt pretty much by myself in that situation. And so I have since then left, but for me, it was a good thing because I was able to address all 3 of my particular issues and really take the time to focus in on those. So at this point, I am no longer tired. I'm taking the time to rest. I've realized over the course of 10, 15 years, all I've done is serve, and whether it's in church or in after school activity, volunteering. So I'm taking this time to just rest, to allow myself to be poured into, whether I'm going to church or out to lunch or whatever. I'm allowing my time that I'm spending for this year to just rest and just be. As far as being lonely, I'm making the time to reach out to some people I've not talked to in a very long time, just talking with some friends I've not talked to in a while, going out for lunch with a couple of friends, meeting new people. I'm taking the time to just interact with people. I am very much introverted, so I don't really like to be around people, but I know that it's important to still have that human interaction with people. And as far as being angry, definitely doing these videos and being able to voice my frustrations and talk things out so that I can think about how that situation can be better, what can be done differently, and then taking the time to, talk with the mentor and express my frustrations that way too, and get their perspective on what I should be doing next. And so that's something I'm hoping would be helpful for you guys. I know that self-care, self-love is definitely something that is trending a lot more and more now. It's definitely on the forefront of our conversations a lot more, especially in terms of our mental health. And so I think these are a great way to, or this acronym is a great way to assess your self-care, assess you taking the time to love on yourself. And so let's go ahead and dig into what God's word says in regards to taking care of yourself when you're feeling maybe overwhelmed or stressed out. Okay, so the verse that I have for you guys today, it's going to come from the Message today. I thought the Message was like a better translation in talking about taking care of yourself. And so the verse is 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16 and 17. It says, "You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God, and God himself is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred, and you, remember, are the temple." I really enjoyed reading through that verse because I feel like it reminds you of who you are and whose you are. And it also reinforces, what you are. You're God's temple. It's where he dwells. And so I really liked where it says no one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. We're in that... like I was saying, we're in that mindset where we're getting our routines down, but we're so in that habit of doing things and having that go, go, go kind of culture that we burn ourselves out. We can't really pour from an empty cup. And so I think we do ourselves a disservice when we're constantly just doing things to the point where we're not even thinking about it. It's just, can you go pick up this? Yes. Can you go here and drop this off? Yes. We're in this yes culture. We're in this habit of always going and having to get things done, that we're not doing things for ourselves, to the point that we're hurting ourselves, that we're not taking the time to just assess how we feel, that we don't feel comfortable expressing how we feel because we feel like it may be a burden to someone else. And so I think this verse is a great reminder to say, when you're doing these things, you're not being mindful of who you are. For one, you're a human being. Whose you are, you're God's. And what you are, you're his temple. It's where he dwells. That when you're not taking the time to be mindful of all those things and taking care of yourself, you're vandalizing that. And however you choose to think of that, it could be physically because you're making yourself tired and exhausted. It could be that you're vandalizing it because you're not taking the time to either sit down and read his word, or taking the time to go to church, whether it's a Wednesday night or a Sunday morning, to have that space and that time to just let go and let it be, and taking that time to just be in his presence. And even just a basic human level of what we talk about from day to day, not taking the time to rest and just chill out, or just saying no for the day, just to not have to have that burden on you. I think we do ourselves a disservice. And so I'm hoping that you guys, again, will find something about that's helpful, that's a great reminder for you, that will also show you that you're a priority as well. And in thinking of those things, so like I was saying before, just with each particular acronym or part of the acronym, if you're feeling hungry, you guys, take the time to eat. If you're angry or anxious, take some time to express your anger. There's been times where I sit in my car and I'm so frustrated that I just scream, just to let that out. Maybe it doesn't look like that to you. Maybe it could be just journaling or whatever that is to express your anger in a safe and healthy way, then do that. If you're feeling lonely, I don't care if you're introverted, because I am too, just take the time to call up a friend you've not seen in a long time and have a conversation with them, or just meet for coffee. And if it's still too much to even be around people, just go to the coffee shop and just be in the presence of other people. just to sit and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just be in the presence of other people, be surrounded by other people. And again, if you are tired, then take the time to rest. Like, it is okay to have a day where you just sleep in. It's okay to have a day where you do nothing. Even if you're not sleeping in or needing to have extra rest, then take the time to just do nothing and just allow that be your time of rest. All right, you guys, so that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments which part of the acronym did you respond to the most? What was your big takeaway from today's video? If you enjoyed today's video and you did find it helpful, I would love it if you would hit that like button. Of course, if you are new here and if you're enjoying this content, definitely hit subscribe and definitely come back next week because I will have an all brand new Wisdom Wednesday video for you. All right, you guys, until then, bye.